Hi, we are students from Prepa Tech SU and I'm David.
And I'm Salma.
Today, we are going to explain what the exponential functions are, as well as the growth and decay in these functions. Also, we will talk about the disaster in Chernobyl. In this project, we searched the definition of exponential functions and the details of the Chernobyl accident. To begin, this is an exponential function.
An exponential function is any number bigger than 0 and not 1 raised to the x value. In this case, imagine that f of x equals b raised to x. B is called base and x can be any real number.
Thank you, Salma. Next, I will show you what is growth and what is decay in an exponential function. In growth and decay function, the formula is y equals a times b raised to x, where a is the starting value, b represents the growth or decay of the function. If b is bigger than 1, it represents exponential growth, but if b between 0 and 1, it represents exponential decay.
A great example for exponential growth and decay are the interest rates. We can use the formulas for simple interest, and compound continuously interest. We can use this example for a better understanding. If the population of Salmaland at year 2000 was 12,546 people and the population growth has increased at a 15% rate each year, what would be the population in 2015? If we substitute this formula, it will look like this. A equals 12,546 times 1 plus 0.15, which is the rate, elevated to 15, which are the years. Then the result will be 20,716.
Now, what happens when we want to express the decrease of something? For example, if you buy a car worth $7,638 and its price diminishes at a rate of 3% per year, what will its worth be in 10 years? If we substitute in the formula, it will be A equals 7,638 times 1 minus 0.03 elevated to 10, giving us an answer of $5,632. Basically, what we did was subtract the rate of change rather than adding it up. Now we are going to explain the disaster in Chernobyl. In 1986, a reactor failed because it was badly designed and it was operated by inadequately trained personnel.
The reactor was supposed to run a system test, but suddenly an overchange in the reactor happened, and a cooling system was supposed to run in. The personnel tried to shut down the energy but failed. This caused an exponential growth of energy in the reactor. The reactor overpassed 10 times the amount of energy that it could resist. The reactor blew up and most of the waste went into the air.
A regular human resists 2.4 to 3 SVs. When the explosion happened, the level of radiation was bigger than 1,000 SVs inside the facility. There are 31 deaths attributed to the accident between personnel and emergency workers. The zone has now been evacuated and is nowadays used as a touristic attraction. Now, we will show you how exponential growth and decay can be seen in the Chernobyl incident. Before the explosion, the reactor had nearly 190 metric tons of uranium dioxide fuel and fission products. After the explosion, it's estimatedly at 13 to 30% of these products were released into the atmosphere. Right after the explosion, the radiation levels grew exponentially. Outside the reactor 4, the initial radiation was 1 SV, and after the explosion, the radiation was growing 10% per minute, giving us the formula y equals 1 Scientists established that an hour after the explosion, the reactor core radiation level was 300. So, the formula will be Y equals 1 times 1 plus 0.1 raised to 60.
So, reviewing what we have seen, exponential growth is the process of increasing an amount by a consistent percentage rate over a period of time, and exponential decay is the process of decreasing it. The formula for both is f of x equal a raised to the x power, and the graphs are. The main characteristics are that key point is located at 0,1, asymptote is y equals 0, domain all real numbers, and range directly related to the asymptote value.
There are pros and cons of using nuclear energy. The pros is that it emits a very low amount of CO2 into the atmosphere. The cons is that radioactive waste is extremely dangerous. Chernobyl disaster could have been prevented. Many scientists agree that if they had a containment structure, they could have minimized the damage.
In our country, we count with two nuclear plants, one in Mexico City and the other one in Laguna Verde, Veracruz. Nowadays, 4% of Mexico energy is nuclear. We think that the pollution in Chernobyl didn't affect Mexico because it's very far away, and nuclear energy pollution it reaches a range from 5 to 10 kilometers of distance.
In the incident, the environment was heavily damaged. The pollution also got to many rivers, lakes, and other water bodies, and all the animals that were in these rivers were very affected by radiation.
These, as many nuclear weapons, have the greatest damage potential, and the radioactive contamination will not disappear fastly enough.
We think that nuclear waste should be taken care with a lot more of attention. It's extremely dangerous to everybody and every single living organism to leave this disaster to keep happening.
We think that we should find a place or a way to make nuclear wastes not so harmful. We think a solution is to be more prepared for a nuclear disaster so it won't harm us all.
Working in this way was difficult because we couldn't get in touch with the other students, and when we did, it was difficult to divide the work. We aren't against the interprepas projects, but it will be better if we actually know the people we are working with.
Thank you for your attention. We hope you have learned something. Bye.